Stop. If you clicked on this video, it wasn't random. If you're hearing these words right now in this exact moment of your life, the Oracle has been waiting for you. They tried to destroy you. They lied about you. They dragged your name through dirt you never touched. And everyone expected you to break, to rage, to become like them. But you didn't. And that restraint you showed when the world wanted chaos, that silence you held when they demanded your scream, that dignity you kept when they expected you to roll in mud, that wasn't weakness. That was the universe testing whether you were ready for your crown. In the next 4 hours, the Oracle will reveal why you went through that fire, why you had to walk through humiliation without breaking, why your silence was more powerful than any words you could have spoken. This isn't just another video. This is the transmission you've been waiting for since the day they first betrayed you. Don't move. Don't scroll. Don't look away. Because what you're about to hear will either heal the wound you've been hiding or expose the one you didn't know existed. The guardians have assembled. The dimensions have aligned. And tonight, chosen soul, you will finally understand why you had to be broken before you could be crowned. Comment, "I am ready" right now if you're prepared to see what the Oracle has been holding for you. Because after tonight, you will never be the same. Let's begin. My dear friend, pause for a moment. I need you to hear this, not with your ears, but with your soul. This isn't just another story about betrayal or revenge. No, this is sacred territory. This is where your flesh wants to fight, but your spirit is being crowned for something greater. You stand at the crossroads between reaction and revelation, between ego and eternity. The world expected to see you roll in the mud, to lose your grip, to join the circus of chaos. They wanted a scandal, not serenity. They wanted drama, not dignity. They wanted you to become the monster they painted you to be. But God wanted a symphony. He waited for the moment you would breathe instead of break. Because heaven studies what you do in those 90 seconds when rage comes knocking. Anyone can explode, anyone can curse the darkness. Anyone can match hate with hate, lie with lie, betrayal with betrayal. But royalty? Royalty doesn't wrestle in the dirt. Royalty stands still and lets the dust settle beneath their feet. I've learned that revenge is a currency far too cheap for a heart stamped with eternity. True power isn't loud, it's holy restraint. It's standing calm while the storm screams, knowing silence is a sword when it rests in the hand of God. So tonight I'm here to tell you, you weren't made to roll in mud. You were made to redefine what victory looks like. And I know what happened to you. I know because the Oracle sees what others cannot. They spread rumors about you that weren't true. They twisted your words until they became unrecognizable. They took your kindness and called it weakness. They took your silence and called it guilt. They gathered in groups to discuss your downfall. They laughed at your pain. They celebrated when you cried. They thought your breaking point would become their entertainment. But what they didn't understand, what they could never comprehend, is that every moment they spent trying to destroy you, the universe was busy building something in you that their chaos could never touch. Because there's a level of strength that only comes through public humiliation. There's a kind of power that's only forged when your name is dragged through the streets and you still refuse to become what they accused you of being. That's not survival, beloved. That's transformation. You didn't just endure the storm. You were refined by it. Every insult was an initiation. Every lie was a lesson. Every betrayal was a blessing in disguise. And now, standing here today, looking at who you've become, I can tell you with absolute certainty, they didn't break you, they built you. Beloved chosen ones, I want to speak to the part of your soul that knows what it feels like to be tested in silence. There will come a moment when everything around you seems determined to pull a reaction out of you. People will lie about you, twist your name, and stir the air with rumors just to see if you'll lose your composure. They will push and provoke, waiting for your explosion so they can say, "I knew it." But that is when heaven leans close to see who you really are. God doesn't observe the loud moments to define your strength. He measures what you do in the quiet ones. He watches who can hold their ground without shouting, who can keep their peace when everything is screaming for reaction. Because every trial you face isn't only about endurance, it's about energy. How you handle what tries to handle you. Most people know how to react, but few know how to restructure. The difference is life-changing. Reaction is instinctive, fueled by emotion and usually reckless. It's what your flesh wants. It's what your hurt demands. It's what your ego craves. Restructuring, however, is divine. It's a decision made by the spirit, not by the flesh. To restructure the energy means to stop feeding the chaos that was designed to drain you. It means learning to read what's behind people's actions rather than what's on the surface. Jealousy, insecurity, fear, and deceit often hide beneath insults and manipulation. When you begin to perceive the vibration behind the behavior, you stop seeing enemies and start recognizing assignments. You begin to understand that every provocation is a test of emotional stewardship, a chance to prove to heaven that you can carry peace without dropping it in the middle of conflict. I had to learn this lesson myself. There was a time when I thought silence was weakness, that if I didn't defend myself, people would believe the lies. But the Holy Spirit taught me that silence is not submission when it's surrendered to God. It's strategy. When you stop reacting, you stop transferring power. When you refuse to give chaos your attention, you reclaim the energy meant for your destiny. Every reaction is an energy exchange, and energy is the currency of the spirit. You can either spend it on outrage or invest it in growth. The world teaches you to clap back, but the kingdom teaches you to stand back and let heaven fight for you. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Just breathe, stand still, and let God rearrange what words could never fix. Every insult sent your way is like a wave. If you absorb it, it crashes inside you and disturbs your peace. But if you stay still, it breaks against you and dissolves into nothing. The moment you stop reacting, you start rewriting the atmosphere. You become a mirror that reflects truth instead of absorbing offense. The more still you are, the more the enemy's energy loses its grip. What was meant to break you starts to strengthen you. The people who mocked your calm will one day ask where you found it. Because real strength isn't measured by how loud you get, it's measured by how little you let shake you. When you restructure energy, humiliation becomes revelation. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what is God showing me through this? You stop feeding what hurt you and begin learning from it. That's how spiritual engineering works. It's not about pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about transforming it into understanding. When someone wrongs you, your reaction decides whether their action defines you or refines you. React and you lose control. Restructure and you gain wisdom. You begin to see the purpose behind the pain, and that perspective becomes your power. Let me tell you about two fighters who faced the same enemy. The first fighter was skilled, strong, and confident. When the enemy attacked, he met every blow with force. He matched every insult with a comeback, every lie with his version of truth, every betrayal with his own form of revenge. He won some battles. People saw his strength. They heard his voice. They watched him fight. But after years of constant war, he looked in the mirror and didn't recognize himself. The enemy had changed him. He had become what he fought against. Bitter, hard, cold. The second fighter was equally skilled, equally strong. But when the enemy attacked, he did something different. He stood still, not from fear, not from weakness, but from a knowing that transcended strategy. The enemy threw insults. He absorbed them without reaction. The enemy spread lies. He let truth do its own work. The enemy betrayed him publicly. He responded with private prayer. People didn't understand. They thought he was weak. They thought he had given up. They thought the enemy had won. But years later, when the dust settled, something remarkable had happened. The first fighter was exhausted, isolated, and consumed by the very darkness he fought. The second fighter was at peace, surrounded by those who recognized authentic strength and more powerful than he'd ever been. You see, the second fighter understood something the first one never did. The real battle isn't against other people. It's against becoming like them. The true enemy isn't the person who hurt you. It's the version of yourself that wants to hurt them back. When you fight that version and win, you've won every battle that matters. The world will never understand that kind of calm. They will mistake it for fear, for weakness, for arrogance. But the truth is, calmness is courage disguised as stillness. It's choosing to respond like someone who remembers who they are in God. People who live in darkness thrive on chaos because chaos is their food. They need you to react. It validates their manipulation. But when you refuse to respond, their system collapses. You starve the spirit of strife by not feeding it attention. You change the atmosphere without saying a word. You let insults dissolve in silence. And soon the same people who tried to expose you end up exposed by their own behavior. There's a wisdom in silence that noise will never understand. It's the same wisdom Jesus showed when he stood before his accusers and said nothing. The silence of the innocent is louder than the cries of the guilty. When you stop arguing with people committed to misunderstanding you, you stop fighting battles God never called you to. The energy they used to pull from you now turns against them. You win not because you fought harder, but because you refused to fight at all. When you practice restraint, you practice royalty. Every time you remain calm when provoked, you remind the world that not all power shouts. Some power simply stands. Dignity is not passive, it's potent. It's not about being unaffected, it's about being unmoved. It's not denying pain, it's denying pain the right to define your next move. You don't need to raise your voice when your presence already speaks louder than their accusations. Your poise does the talking. Your silence becomes your sermon. Your stillness becomes your strategy. Dignity is warfare in disguise. It is spiritual combat conducted through self-control. The world has confused reaction with strength, but strength without restraint is just chaos in armor. True warriors know when to draw the sword and when to stand still. You win when your character stays intact under pressure. You win when your peace becomes unbreakable in the presence of provocation. Dignity is not about what happens around you. It's about what you refuse to let happen within you. It's standing in a storm without letting the storm inside your soul. When you wear dignity as armor, the world will misunderstand it. They'll think you're passive when you're actually precise. They'll think you're distant when you're actually discerning. Dignity requires spiritual maturity because it means holding your peace when you could easily prove your point. It means trusting that time will reveal what truth already knows. You don't have to expose anyone. Their own behavior will do that for you. You don't have to clear your name. Your consistency will handle that. People expect noise, but you answer with nobility. There's a power in poise that no argument can match. When others try to drag you into the mud, stand tall. Let their actions reveal their character while your silence preserves yours. The higher you go, the quieter you must become, because altitude demands composure. The air at the top is thin. Not everyone can breathe where you are going. That's why dignity feels lonely sometimes. It's the cost of peace in a world addicted to performance, but it's also your proof of growth. When you walk away with grace, you walk away undefeated. The crowd will call it weakness, but heaven calls it wisdom. Your calm is not emptiness, it's evidence. It shows that the same spirit that raised Christ from the dead also lives in you, giving you the strength to master yourself before you try to master anyone else. That's real authority. You don't command by force, you command by peace. You don't rule with noise, you rule with stillness. Every person who's ever tried to destroy your name will one day face the reality of your peace. Your peace becomes their conviction. Your grace becomes their exposure. The storm they started will turn inward, because truth always finds its way home. When you respond with grace instead of anger, you hold up a mirror they can't escape. Your calm shows them what they truly are. And that's why they fear you, not because you fought back, but because you refused to. Each act of restraint is a declaration of maturity. It says, I value my peace more than my pride. And when you make that declaration, the atmosphere shifts. Heaven recognizes that you've graduated from reaction to revelation. The Spirit of God begins to entrust you with greater influence because He knows you won't waste it on proving points. Every time you hold your dignity, you polish your crown. Every moment you choose silence over shouting, you're stepping deeper into divine authority. To restructure energy is to see conflict as a classroom. Every insult becomes an assignment, every betrayal a blueprint for growth. You stop trying to win arguments and start winning peace. And as you do, the same people who tried to pull you down will witness something they can't explain. They'll see that you didn't just walk through the mud, you walked on it. You turned the same ground meant to bury you into the path that elevated you. The truth is, dignity is not about pretending the dirt isn't there. It's about walking through it without letting it stain you. It's about staying true when falsehood surrounds you. About choosing clarity over chaos. About remembering that your worth is not determined by how they treat you, but by how you respond. So hold your head high. Let their confusion meet your calm. Let their insults dissolve in your silence. Let your stillness testify that peace is stronger than pain. You don't have to be understood to be victorious. You don't have to be praised to be powerful. You just have to stay pure in your reactions. Every time you refuse to engage in drama, you make a statement louder than any speech. I am no longer feeding what was sent to destroy me. I am restructuring this energy. I am turning chaos into clarity. I am transforming offense into order. That's how heaven fights. Through calm, through composure, through quiet confidence. You are not weak for walking away. You are wise for knowing where your energy belongs. You are not fragile for staying gentle. You are powerful for staying grounded, because power without restraint is noise, but restraint in the hands of God becomes revelation. When you master this, you no longer fight for victory. You fight from victory. You no longer seek justice through argument. You let truth unveil itself through time. You don't need to rush to defend yourself. Heaven is already building your defense. So when they lie about you, stay calm. When they provoke you, stay still. When they misjudge you, stay kind. Because dignity is the language of the divine and silence is its sentence. You are not here to prove your holiness. You are here to embody it. The proof of your strength is not in how loudly you respond, but in how deeply you trust. You've been called to a higher kind of warfare, the silent kind, where victory doesn't shout, it simply stands. You're not just surviving chaos, you're rewriting it. You're not escaping the fire. You're becoming the calm inside it. And when the world watches you walk through storms without shaking, they'll know you've learned the art of restructuring energy. That is what it means to fight with dignity, to remain steady while everything else trembles. To turn humiliation into revelation, insult into instruction, and pressure into proof. It's not an easy path, but it's the path of the chosen. You don't win by reacting, you win by rising. You don't conquer by shouting, you conquer by standing still. And when you do, your silence will speak volumes. It will say, I am not here to roll in the dirt. I am here to walk through it royal, radiant, and redeemed. My dear friends, in a world where deceit is dressed up as intelligence and manipulation masquerades as strategy, there still exists a rare kind of strength. The strength of clean hands. I'm talking about the kind of power that doesn't need lies to win. The kind of victory that doesn't leave a stain. Because the truth is this, anyone can win dirty, but only the righteous can win clean. You see, when life cornered you, they expected you to compromise. They thought pressure would push you into pretending, that pain would force you to manipulate just to survive. But you didn't. You refused to twist stories or trade your soul for sympathy. You chose the hard road, the honest road. You chose to let time, not tactics, tell your story. And that's why your victory is different. Because when truth fights for you, it doesn't just defend, it redeems. Clean hands don't mean an easy life. They mean a steady one. They mean you walked through mud without letting it cling to you. You stood in a world that rewarded scheming and still decided to stay pure. That decision doesn't come from weakness. It comes from knowing who your God is. Because you can't hold heaven's favor with dirty hands. You can't carry divine purpose while clutching deception. What separates the chosen from the clever is not brilliance, it's integrity. There is a beauty, an uncorrupted truth that the world can't imitate. It may look slow, it may look quiet, but it is undefeated. You didn't rush to clear your name because you trusted that truth has a longer lifespan than lies. The world measures victory by applause, but heaven measures it by endurance. And when all the noise fades, only what was real will remain standing. While others plotted and pretended, you waited. You trusted the process. You let your consistency speak louder than your defense. That's why your story doesn't sound like survival. It sounds like resurrection. Because every false narrative that tried to bury you only fertilized your testimony. The enemy thought integrity would break you. He thought kindness would make you weak. But what he didn't understand is that righteousness doesn't crumble under pressure. It crystallizes. It becomes clearer, stronger, and sharper in the fire. You walked through the flames, but you came out without the smell of smoke. And that's something the world can't counterfeit. You didn't just survive the test, you purified it. You see, when you hold clean hands in a dirty fight, the battle changes shape. It's no longer about who wins in the moment, it's about who can live with the outcome. Deceit always carries decay, it rots from the inside. But truth is self-healing. It grows stronger with time. Those who try to rise by stepping on others eventually trip over their own corruption. Their victories are hollow because they are built on manipulation. And manipulation cannot stand before eternity. I've learned that the loudest revenge is peace. The sharpest justice is patience. The purest victory is the one that doesn't need to shout. You didn't expose anyone. Their own actions exposed them. You didn't curse them. Their own words turned back on them. You didn't need to prove your innocence. Your character was already your evidence. And when you choose that path, when you decide to keep your soul clean while others get dirty, you redefine what strength looks like. You show the world that integrity is not outdated, it's eternal. That purity is not naivety, it's power. That truth doesn't need to chase lies, it just needs to outlast them. There were moments when it would have been easier to fight fire with fire, to match deception with deception, to clap back, to expose, to retaliate. But you didn't. You chose restraint, you chose dignity. And that restraint wasn't weakness, it was wisdom. Because sometimes silence is not empty. It's loaded with divine confidence. Sometimes waiting isn't delay. It's preparation for vindication. While they were busy writing false reports, heaven was preparing your public restoration. The same mouths that spread rumors are now forced to repeat truth. The same eyes that watched you suffer now have to witness your peace. The same hands that tried to break you are now empty, because what's built on deceit cannot hold what's blessed by righteousness. God never asked you to fight dirty. He asked you to stay clean because your clean hands are His tools for justice. Every time you refused to lie, you built credibility in the unseen realm. Every time you chose peace over payback, you gave God permission to fight for you. Every time you said, "I'll let time handle it," you were sowing a seed into eternity. And now the harvest is here. What was whispered in darkness is being shouted in daylight. What was meant to disgrace you has become the very stage for grace. You didn't manipulate outcomes. You manifested truth. You didn't beg for closure. You let clarity arrive on its own timing. That's what clean hands do. They don't chase, they attract. Some people think that to win in this world you have to play the world's game. They think you have to bend the truth, fake the smile, twist the story, or flatter your way forward. But that's not the way of the chosen. God's people don't win by cunning. They win by character. They don't conquer by control. They conquer by conviction.
Because every time you choose integrity over impulse, heaven moves something in your favor. Remember this: what's built on deceit always collapses under truth. Time exposes what lies try to hide, the revelation. What's built on dishonor cannot last because it doesn't have the blessing of alignment. But what's built on truth, even when buried, will resurrect itself. So don't lose heart when it feels like the corrupt are winning. Their crowns are plastic. Yours is eternal. Their victories echo for a moment. Yours sings forever. Keep your hands clean, your words pure, your motives right. Because when the storm passes, it's the unshaken who remains standing. I know it's hard to stay silent when you've been slandered. I know it's painful to be honest when dishonesty gets rewarded. But understand this: integrity doesn't pay quickly. It pays deeply.
It deposits peace into your spirit, and no check of deceit can ever buy that. When you rest your head at night knowing you stayed true, that's wealth. When your conscience stays quiet even when the world is loud, that's victory. You walked through their mess without becoming part of it. You kept your identity while others lost theirs chasing power. That's not weakness, that's mastery. Because what defines a person is not how they act when they win, but how they stay when they're wronged. You showed that righteousness is not a costume for Sunday. It's a lifestyle forged in the fire of humiliation. You stayed clean in a dirty world, and that's a miracle all by itself. So now when people look at you, they see the reflection of endurance. They see someone who didn't cheat their way up the mountain, someone who climbed with grace and scars instead of shortcuts. And that's why your peace is louder than any argument. That's why your calm commands respect.
Clean hands win dirty battles because time becomes your witness. You don't have to scream. Your endurance speaks. You don't have to retaliate. Your peace retaliates for you. You don't have to manipulate. Your truth multiplies on its own. So let the world play its games. Let them chase temporary crowns. You just keep your hands clean, your heart open, and your head lifted.
Because when it's all said and done, the liars will run out of breath. The deceivers will run out of script. But truth will still be standing steady as stone, pure as light. And when that moment comes, when justice finally walks into the room, no one will need to ask how you did it. They'll know because your silence, your patience, your integrity, your clean hands, all of it will speak louder than any defense you could have made. You didn't win by playing dirty. You won by staying divine. You didn't survive by deceit. You overcame by truth. You walked through the fire, but you came out shining. And that, my friend, is how clean hands win dirty battles. Beloved chosen ones, do you know when you stand in truth long enough, you don't have to expose anyone? Truth does the work for you.
You don't have to shout. You don't have to prove. You don't even have to defend yourself, because truth, when lived out consistently, becomes a mirror so clear that lies can't stand their own reflection. You don't have to chase evil when it's already crumbling under the weight of your calm. There's something divine about quiet strength. Evil doesn't know what to do with it. Manipulators lose their grip when they can't get a reaction. You see, their entire game depends on your participation. The spell only works if you play along, but the moment you refuse to engage, the illusion collapses. You don't fight them, you unmask them. Not with accusations, not with anger, but with authenticity. Because when truth stands still, deception panics. That's what happens when your spirit stays pure in a polluted environment. You become a kind of spiritual X-ray. Your presence scans intentions. Your peace exposes pretense. People who thrive on manipulation can't breathe in that atmosphere. Your calm becomes their exposure. Your stillness, their undoing. They thought silence meant weakness, but it was judgment in disguise. When you stop responding to darkness, you rob it of its stage. It feeds on chaos, but you feed on light. It thrives on confusion, but you stand in clarity. So when you stay grounded, when you refuse to play their game, you don't just protect your peace, you break their power. Because darkness doesn't lose when it's attacked, it loses when it's ignored. Every manipulator needs an audience. Every deceiver needs agreement. But when you deny them that reaction, when you stay in truth, you strip away their illusion of control. They start to hear their own noise echoing back at them. Every insult they throw ricochets in the silence. Every lie they speak returns louder, because there's no longer anything to absorb it. You become the mirror that makes them see themselves, and that is what terrifies them. You didn't have to humiliate anyone. You didn't have to call them out. Your integrity did it for you. The more consistent you stayed, the more obvious the contrast became. Your steadiness revealed their instability. Your peace revealed their pretense. Your light revealed their lack. You didn't need to judge them. Your existence in truth was judgment enough. Let me tell you this. Truth doesn't chase applause. It demands accountability. And accountability always finds those who avoid it. When your heart is pure, you carry a presence that convicts people without you saying a word. The guilty can't stand the company of the genuine, because your calm holds up a mirror they can't bear to face. That's why certain people avoid you, why they suddenly grow uncomfortable in your presence. It's not because you did something wrong.
It's because you reflect what's missing in them. Evil always overplays its hand in the presence of righteousness. Lies unravel faster when confronted by quiet consistency. There's no need to wrestle with snakes when your light blinds them. They twist, they hiss, they scatter because they can't survive under exposure. Your authenticity becomes the sunlight that burns away their disguise. It's not your anger that reveals them. It's your absence of it. It's not your fight that breaks them. It's your refusal to fight on their terms. The way you stand still becomes the evidence that something higher is defending you. When you stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you, you free yourself from their grip and hand the situation to divine justice. The enemy cannot mimic purity. He can fake kindness. He can fake humility. But he cannot fake consistency. That's why staying true is so powerful. When you are unshaken, when you respond the same way in peace as you do in pressure, your stability exposes their performance. Because manipulation thrives on instability. It needs a reaction to confirm its relevance.
The moment you stop reacting, you pull the plug. You became that mirror, and the reflection was too much for them to bear. Without you saying a word, their actions began to reveal what words could never hide. That's divine irony. Evil defeating itself in the presence of someone who refused to play dirty. They thought they could drag you into chaos, but instead they stumbled into their own exposure. And you know what happens then? Their masks start slipping, their alliances break. The audience that once believed their act starts to see through it, because truth has a way of standing taller with time. Lies may run fast, but they always run out of breath. Your stillness gave them space to reveal who they really were. And when they did, everyone saw it. Your restraint didn't just protect your peace, it protected your witness. People who watched the situation learned something sacred from you, that you don't have to fight evil to defeat it. Sometimes you just have to stand long enough for it to collapse on its own. You didn't match their energy. You raised your frequency. You didn't argue your case. You lived it. You didn't accuse them. You let their own conscience become their courtroom. Because the truth is this: what's real doesn't need reaction. It just needs revelation. And revelation always arrives on time. You became living proof of that. When you stood still in truth, the noise started to fade. When you stayed consistent, confusion lost its grip. When you remained calm, corruption couldn't hide. You didn't destroy them. You simply refused to descend. And in doing so, you let heaven handle the rest. That's why now when people think about you, they don't remember what others said. They remember how you stood. They remember your composure, your peace, your unbreakable calm. Because peace under pressure is louder than any rumor. Integrity under fire shines brighter than any lie. You didn't argue your worth. You embodied it. That's what it means to be the mirror that makes evil see itself. It means becoming so aligned with truth that falsehood can't survive in your space. It means walking in such peace that conflict gets exhausted trying to provoke you. It means choosing to live so authentically that you don't need to correct anyone's perception because time will. You don't need to call anyone out when your life calls them higher. You don't need to prove them wrong when your peace already does. The energy around you testifies louder than your words ever could. And that's divine order, letting your stillness become the sermon. There's a holiness in standing still that battles can't touch. It's the same calm that stood before Pilate and said nothing. The same peace that silences storms with a whisper. The same truth that hung on a cross and let the lie expose itself through its own cruelty. When you walk in that kind of truth, you don't chase victory, it chases you. So don't worry about who's talking, who's twisting, who's pretending. Their own words will weigh them down. Their own actions will testify against them. Your only job is to keep shining, to keep standing, to keep reflecting light until every shadow dissolves in it. When truth stands still, deception runs. When integrity remains, manipulation implodes. You don't have to humiliate the wicked. They humiliate themselves trying to fight what's incorruptible. You don't have to shout justice. It arrives on its own schedule. All you have to do is remain authentic, because authenticity is judgment without cruelty. It's confrontation without conflict. It's exposure without vengeance. So keep walking with clean hands and a steady heart. Keep standing in peace when chaos surrounds you, because that's where your power lives, in quiet consistency. The louder the world gets, the more your silence will speak. And when evil looks into that mirror you've become, it will finally see what it always feared most: itself. O chosen ones, hear me when I say this. God does not forget, and truth does not die. The wheels of divine justice may turn slowly, but they never stop turning. When you've been wronged, when lies have been spread, when people have twisted your name and tried to bury your light, the temptation is to defend yourself, to fight back, to make them taste the pain they served you. But there is a deeper power, a sacred strategy that heaven teaches to those who trust beyond sight. It is the discipline of silence. It is the wisdom of waiting. It is letting consequences speak louder than retaliation. You see, retaliation satisfies the ego, but patience satisfies justice. When you react, you grab control from God's hands. When you wait, you give it back to Him. And unlike man, God doesn't rush. He reveals, He exposes, He builds evidence in silence. He lets time gather truth like morning dew until the sun rises, and everything that was hidden begins to shimmer in plain sight. That's why you don't have to chase vindication. The truth you live will do the talking. Every lie carries a timer. Every plot has an expiration date. The people who tried to destroy your peace may have thought they got away with it, but time is already turning on them. Masks always fall. Alliances built on deceit always fracture. Every false word they whispered is now coming back like an echo with a new sound. Truth. We're wrong. The same hands that tried to pull you down will find themselves empty. When you chose silence, you didn't lose control. You regained it, because silence is not submission. It's strategy. It's not fear. It's focus. It's knowing that what's done in darkness always meets the dawn. You didn't have to scream for justice. You trusted that divine order would summon it in its time. And now that order is moving slowly, surely, unmistakably. When you let consequences speak, you free yourself from the burden of bitterness. You stop spending energy on revenge and start investing it in growth. You realize that the most painful chapters are often the most productive. Because while you were being falsely accused, you were also being refined. While they were plotting your downfall, heaven was plotting your elevation. Your silence wasn't empty. It was sacred ground where God was working unseen. Every tear you held back, every insult you absorbed, every moment you wanted to defend yourself but didn't, that was not weakness. That was worship. You were declaring through your restraint, I trust divine timing more than human reaction. That's why peace stayed with you while chaos consumed them. Because peace is the companion of patience, and patience is the pathway to justice. Look at what's happening now. Their words are catching up to them. Their narratives are collapsing under the weight of reality. The same energy they poured into deception has circled back like a boomerang. That's what divine balance does. It doesn't ask your permission. It simply arrives. You didn't wish harm on them. You just trusted that truth has a perfect memory. And now truth is doing what truth always does, unraveling the lies, thread by thread, until exposure becomes inevitable. The beauty of divine justice is that it doesn't need your hands to work. You don't have to announce it, force it, or even see it happen. You just have to stay aligned, stay faithful, stay grounded. Because the God who saw it all doesn't sleep. The same God who heard your silence will make the noise of justice echo in His own time. Your part is to stay still enough to let Him move. You see, when you retaliate, you give your enemies short-term satisfaction. When you wait, you give heaven long-term glory. Retaliation makes you feel powerful for a moment, but patience makes you powerful forever. Because what's coming for you doesn't need to be rushed, it's already written. Every plot formed against you is being undone by its own design. Every word spoken to curse you is turning into a blessing on its way back. You didn't have to hunt for justice. You carried it in your character. You didn't have to fight for truth. Truth fought for you. Every day you woke up and chose peace instead of revenge, you were building your own vindication. Your calm became a courtroom, your endurance a witness, your silence a sentence that only heaven could write. And now the evidence is speaking. Those who once celebrated your pain are watching their own plans fall apart. The alliances they built on lies are collapsing because deceit cannot hold weight. It always caves in on itself. The same stage they used to mock you is now their stage of exposure. You didn't destroy them. You didn't need to. The truth they tried to bury became the seed of their consequence. My friend, understand this. Divine order is precise. God never misses his timing. Even when you can't see the clock, what you call delay is often preparation. He lets the lies grow just long enough for them to choke themselves. He allows the proud to rise high enough so that when they fall, everyone sees the difference between favor and fraud. That's how he vindicates publicly, poetically, perfectly. So if you're in that season where you feel overlooked, where justice seems slow, where silence feels heavy, don't lose heart. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. God is setting the stage so that when truth stands tall, it won't need your voice to validate it. It will speak through results. It will speak through peace. It will speak through the joy that comes after the storm. Let consequences be your language. Let time be your advocate. Let faith be your posture. Because those who wronged you will one day have to face what they created, and they will realize too late that the silence they mistook for defeat was actually discipline. You didn't walk away because you were afraid. You walked away because you were led. That's why your story carries power. It's not built on retaliation, it's built on revelation. You trusted that what was meant to harm you would eventually expose itself. You trusted that truth doesn't need protection, it just needs patience. And now that patience is paying off, there is no vengeance greater than peace, no justice sharper than time, no vindication stronger than divine order. You don't have to curse anyone, chase anyone, or prove anything. Just keep walking in integrity. Keep your heart clean and your spirit steady, because time is already speaking for you. And when time speaks, even your enemies will have to listen. That's what it means to let consequences speak. It's not about winning the argument, it's about outlasting the lie. It's not about showing the world what they did to you. It's about showing the world what God did through you. The noise fades, the truth rises, and your silence stands as proof that divine justice doesn't rush. It arrives right on time. The school of humiliation, your greatest education. Beloved chosen ones, there's a kind of victory that doesn't look like triumph. It looks like purity. It's not the kind that wins applause. It's the kind that wins peace. It's when every weapon formed against you ends up polishing your character instead of piercing your soul. It's when every rumor, every whisper, every attempt to stain your name only reveals how clean your spirit really is. That's the paradox of divine integrity. The more they try to cover you in mud, the more your light exposes their dirt. You see, the enemy's greatest frustration isn't that you survived. It's that you survived without becoming like them. You didn't match their bitterness. You didn't mirror their deceit. You didn't allow their corruption to contaminate your clarity. That's what spiritual strength looks like. Not the absence of pain, but the transformation of it. You didn't deny what hurt you. You purified it. You took betrayal and turned it into wisdom. You took rejection and turned it into redirection. You took insult and turned it into insight. You didn't escape the mud by avoiding it. You walked through it without letting it define you, and that's what shook the world. Because while they expected to see you crumble, you came out refined. While they hoped to see you bitter, you came out better. While they drained themselves trying to drag you down, you gained strength by standing still. That's what holiness looks like in motion, being surrounded by poison and still refusing to drink it. You see, the moment they began their smear campaign, they thought they had control. They thought if they said enough, people would believe it. But the truth is, the more they spoke, the more the contrast grew. Their words revealed their motives, and your silence revealed your maturity. Their actions showed desperation, but your consistency showed discipline. You didn't need to defend your name. Your peace became your defense. Every false word they threw became a mirror reflecting their own character. That's the power of staying unstained. When you walk in truth, every attack becomes a spotlight. Not on your weakness, but on their motives. The more they tried to smear you, the more the Spirit highlighted the difference between the real and the counterfeit. That's how divine justice works. It doesn't just protect the righteous, it educates the crowd. It shows everyone watching that you can't dim the light of someone who keeps their oil pure. Now let me tell you this, you were never asked to be emotionless. You felt every sting. You felt the betrayal, the disappointment, the shame, but instead of letting those emotions harden you, you let them heal you. You allowed pain to pass through you without taking residence within you. You processed it, prayed through it, and let it become your teacher. That's why you shine now. You didn't numb the hurt. You refined it. You turned your wounds into wisdom and your scars into sermons. And that's exactly what those who tried to ruin you can't understand. They mistook your calm for coldness, your silence for apathy, your restraint for weakness. But it wasn't any of those things. It was sanctity. It was the discipline of not giving your energy to what doesn't deserve it. It was the quiet confidence of someone who knows God doesn't need help defending the truth. They spent all their energy trying to make you dirty, but every move backfired. Their efforts exhausted them, not you. They ran themselves dry, trying to poison a well that can't be polluted. Because when your source is divine, human schemes can't contaminate your flow. You didn't fight them, you outlasted them. You didn't match their tactics. You maintained your tone. You didn't stoop to their level. You stayed grounded on holy ground. And while they were performing, you were purifying. While they were spreading rumors, you were spreading grace. While they were constructing lies, you were building resilience. The very mud they threw at you became the clay God used to shape you. Because that's how He works. He takes what was meant to bury you and turns it into the soil of your rebirth. Over time, truth did what it always does. It exposed, it balanced, it cleansed. 3 eternal movements of divine order: exposure, equilibrium, and purification. First, the light revealed what was hidden. The lies began to contradict themselves. The alliances they built began to fracture. People started connecting dots that no one could stop.
Then balance arrived. Every false weight they used to tip the scales in their favor was removed. Every distorted perception began to level out. And finally, the cleansing came. The truth washed through the situation like rain over dust. It didn't just reveal the dirt, it restored the ground. And you, yes, you walked out of it unstained. The mud didn't define you, it refined you. The dirt didn't stick because your spirit wasn't made of the same material. You're not built from bitterness, you're built from belief. You're not held together by ego, you're held by endurance. You're not moved by gossip, you're guided by grace. That's why even after all the storms, you still glow. You didn't glow because you wanted attention. You glow because authenticity can't be dimmed by dishonor. Your purity has become your proof. Your peace has become your platform. Your endurance has become your evidence. Everyone who once doubted you now sees the truth written not in words, but in your walk. You are living testimony that you can go through the mud and still come out radiant. That holiness isn't about perfection, it's about preservation. It's about refusing to let the world's dirt stain your divine design. Let me tell you something deeper. Sometimes God allows the smear so that the contrast can be seen. He lets the accusations rise so that the truth can shine brighter. He lets the liars speak so that their lies can collapse under their own weight. You didn't need to fight for revelation. It was already scheduled. The truth had its own timetable. You just had to stay clean long enough for it to arrive. And that's exactly what you did. You stayed in peace when provoked. You stayed kind when cornered. You stayed authentic when attacked. Every attempt to drag you into their storm only revealed how firmly you were standing on solid ground. Every word they used against you became a stepping stone for your evolution. The same mouths that cursed you will soon have to acknowledge your endurance. Because while they were busy rehearsing lies, heaven was writing vindication. So don't resent the mud. It was necessary. It proved what you're made of. It separated your essence from their intentions. It revealed that your foundation was built on faith, not on flattery. You were never fragile. You were fortified. Every attack became another opportunity to show that righteousness doesn't run from dirt. It transforms it. This is the truth. When your hands stay clean, the dirt becomes its own evidence. When your spirit stays pure, deceit exposes itself. You don't have to announce your integrity. Your consistency announces it for you. The same people who tried to stain you will end up apologizing to the image they painted. Because mud dies, but truth stays alive. It breathes. It endures. It outlasts them all. And in the end, what remains isn't the memory of their accusations, it's the radiance of your refinement. The more they tried to tarnish your name, the more heaven polished it. You walk through what was meant to pollute you, but you came out shining like gold. You didn't escape the mud. You transformed it. And that, my friend, is what divine strength looks like. Purity that doesn't pretend. Peace that doesn't depend. Character that can't be corrupted. You stayed unstained. And because of that, the mud revealed itself. Time did the work of truth. Balance did the work of justice. And grace did the work of cleansing. The dirt is gone. The masks are off. And the light belongs to you. The power is in self-control, mastering the only battle that matters. Beloved chosen ones, there is one thing I can be sure of with you. True power has nothing to do with domination or control over others. It's not about how loudly you can shout, how many people you can intimidate, or how forcefully you can respond when someone offends you. Real power is not about destruction. It's about direction. It's about learning how to guide your own energy instead of letting it guide you. Power is not proven in how much noise you can make, but in how much peace you can maintain. It is not the strength to fight everyone around you. It's the wisdom to rule yourself. Power isn't shown when you lose control. It's revealed when you master it. The world has tried to convince you that strength is about dominance, that to be strong means to be louder, faster, sharper. But the truth from heaven is very different. Divine power is quiet, deliberate, and disciplined. It's knowing when to act and when to wait. It's understanding that silence, when chosen with purpose, is not weakness. It is wisdom wrapped in patience. Power is not about always moving forward. Sometimes it's about standing still long enough to let God move for you. When you learn the art of restraint, you step into the language of royalty. Anyone can react. Anyone can strike back when insulted or provoked. But it takes spiritual authority to remain calm in the middle of chaos. The kind of composure that holds you steady when the world is shaking does not come from pride or ego. It comes from the Holy Spirit. It's not about pretending the storm doesn't exist. It's about learning to stand in it without being pulled apart by it. It's about remaining who you are, even when everything around you is trying to turn you into something you're not. There will be times when you want to react, when your heart burns with the need to correct lies or defend your name. You'll want to step into the battle, to shout your truth. But the spirit within you whispers something softer, something stronger. Wait. That voice is not fear, it's faith. It's the reminder that if you let God handle this, He will deliver a victory that your words could never produce. Waiting is not wasting time. It's trusting divine timing. It's believing that the one who sees all will reveal all in due season. Restraint is not repression, it's refinement. It doesn't come from weakness, it comes from wisdom. When you hold your tongue, it doesn't mean you're afraid to speak. It means you value your peace more than your pride. Every time you choose patience over provocation, you grow stronger in spirit. Every time you step back when your emotions push you forward, you take another step toward mastery. Because power without control is just chaos wearing a crown. But power with control, that's kingdom. The ability to stay still in a storm is one of the rarest forms of strength. You learn that not every argument deserves your voice. Not every battle deserves your energy.
Not every insult deserves your attention. Some fights are distractions in disguise, designed to pull you away from your purpose. Power is knowing which battles are worth fighting and which are meant to be left to God. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away and say nothing, because silence can roar louder than words when it's guided by discernment.